Welcome to the T Row Show. As your host Keith. This is the T Row Show, second half, number 9, and I'm going to be talking about the thing that everybody's complaining about, which is the border, the southern border. Now, we were fighting this back 2015-16 when we claimed the metes and bounds of the United States of America, which were the outside metes and bounds nobody had claimed before. Then we had all the states done. We had all that commissioned to a surveyor to get all the states done. And guess what happens? Patriots steal it. That's what they do. AVR lady goes ahead and steals them, just blatantly steals them, and has no issues with it. However, that jeopardized the southern border. When Obama was in, believe it or not, when we asked them to close the border, they did. So you guys have got to, you got to close this border. There's too many people coming over. And they actually did that. Trump did it also when dealing with the southern border, decided to put his wall up by executive order, which was not a good idea. Everything he did was by executive order because the Democrats were had already taken the House and all that. That was all planned. Now, the funky thing about this is I see a bunch of Republicans, senators, they're starting to freak out. So I have a question for you. Why haven't they been freaking out for the last 3 years? Would anybody care to even talk about that? It's been 3 years. Now all of a sudden it's less than a year before another president gets in there. Now they're complaining about it. They're all getting together, like a 2-hour thing, and bashing Biden and all that stuff. Biden can't, he ain't fighting back because he's got a bad case of dementia. That's kind of a payback thing for all the things he's been doing, right? Children and all that kind of crap. So the timing of it is a little bit off since it's been going on for 3 years. I don't know whether it's people just have to be woken up. It has to get that bad for people to finally start doing something, whatever it is. Just had a point of view by one of the listeners about possible J6 deal. 20 miles of the convoy coming from Canada is 20 miles long, going down to the southern border. Big bunch of people going through Virginia and everything else, coming down to the border to close the border. That's going to start a big old mess, right? How many of those people are going to be put on a list and end up in Washington, D.C. in a jail and in a pit? Okay, because that's what they do in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. doesn't care about human rights at all. They will put you in a jail and they will simply torture you and then tell people that they're torturing you. What are you going to do about it? That's what Washington, D.C. is. And folks, the United States has been that way forever. It has not just been done. They've been this way forever. Back in the days. Yes, it was hijacked by some very evil people. But the people that have been in the United States have all rejected our Father in heaven and Jesus. So they've all always worshiped the devil. They were just really good at hiding it back in the 50s and 60s, 30s and 40s. They just won a war. Okay? So they're very good at hiding this. However, they have done some good things for, politically. It's not all bad. Otherwise, it wouldn't have lasted that long. And so we can give them that, the benefit of the doubt. So here's the thing. Is this going to be another J6 when all these guys come down from Canada and a bunch of people end up going on a convoy down to Texas to help secure the border? I did my research. I've been looking at, I've been watching what's going on at the border. I know a lot of people don't have time for that, but I did a little research today. I said, well, if I'm going to talk about the border, I'm going to take a look at it and see what's going on. Military is there, and I'm going to show you the main issue they're having. These poor migrants, just poor migrants. It's terrible. It was one of those kind of shows, but it was like a Soros propaganda video. He's actually very good at it. He's had a long time to practice his evil. So the kids are there, and they're talking about this Constantina wire all the way down the Rio, where all these immigrants have been coming from, like thousands upon thousands per day, 5,000 here, 5,000 there, 10,000, whatever it is. Biden's all upset because he's supposed to be a good guy on the World Economic Forum, and of course, the World Economic Forum is going to be pressuring Biden to get that border back open again, and the people are saying no. We're not that kind of country. This is not going to happen. It's not going to work. So they start doing interviews with the military today, and they're telling them, and say, look, here's the problem. They're saying people keep coming over trying to get through the Constantina wire. They have clothes they put on the Constantina wire. And if anybody doesn't know what a Constantina wire is, it's nothing more than a wire with razor blades on it, on each, every 2 feet, whatever it is. So it's pretty rough to get through. Okay, so they have that, and this is what a couple of them say, which started making sense as to what the problem is. They have a checkpoint, a legal entry checkpoint, like a quarter mile down the river, and these people are coming across where the Constantina wire is, trying to beg their way in and cry. Oh, they're going to rape me. They're going to do this. The stories all day long. They're raping me, and they're doing this or doing that. They attack you. They take away they rape your wives, that kind of crap. So I'm thinking, all right, this doesn't make any sense. Why not go through a legal checkpoint if that's what's going on? Well, think about it. Why would you want to avoid the legal checkpoint a half a mile down the road and want to be asked to come through Constantina wire? Why do you need to do that? So here's your issue. Why do you insist on coming over illegal? And believe me, the Mexicans do that. Sitting here watching them over and over. Some from El Salvador. Okay. Here's the funny part. They watched a video called "The Most Dangerous Ways to Go to School." Okay. And this kid ends up going through a field, and he has to watch out for snakes all the time. The snakes can bite him, kill him, whatever, you know, whatever basically they want to do. And it's a whole show about it. And then it shows the sisters in a boat going towards their school. I'm talking about just going to school, okay? And this kid's got to be worried about getting eaten by snakes, and the little girls end up, worrying about the crocs attacking the boat. So it's really messed up. So someone thought, hey man, let's make a show about this, and they did. Well, the people we saw at the border today were from El Salvador. Oh, it's dangerous there. It's terrible. This is going on, that's going on, da da da. Folks, we watched the show, of the kids having to dart away from snakes on their way to school. These are kids going to school. There's nothing going on in El Salvador. Everything's fine. Unless you're carting drugs. Gee, I wonder why they don't want to go into the processing center. Because either the child that they're carrying is not there, and they're using them for anchor babies, or they're running drugs and everything else into the country, which takes away their ability to claim a nationality. They're just smuggling now. There's really nothing to do with any kind of asylum. The government's after them. Well, of course, the government would be after them because they're running drugs. So I watched this for about 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. I think I'm pretty accurate as to what's going on there. And I think that the military has an idea what it's all about, what it's really all, what it's all like. Because the lies, you can kind of tell when people are lying to you, and the lies are pretty blatant as to what's really going on. Because this captain just said very simply, no, 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 these people here, just very calmly, these people here, they've all been told to go down to the bridge. Folks, they don't even have to get in the water. This crap you're watching on TV is showing people that are running drugs and kids that they're going in the water. That's why they're running them. They're not their kids. So if you look down the road a half a mile, there's a bridge right down there that they allow them to come through. They'll stop them at the border and process them through. And not a problem. They don't even care about that. So why? Here's my question for Biden and all those guys. Schumer, here's the question. Why do you want it open to illegal naturalization? Why do you want to keep it illegal? And that's the key. That's what's really going on. They want to keep the border open and make everything that happens illegal, so they don't have to document these people. And when they don't have to document them, the point of human trafficking doesn't come up because there's nothing on record that says that they were even there in the first place. That's how the United Nations thinks, and that's why it's so corrupt. If they can get rid of the record that you exist, then they've already got it to where no crime ever happened. That's how they think. That's how Hillary thinks. If you get rid of the witness, you don't have to worry about a witness. The witness is gone. Doesn't matter if the witness was what's the word exists or not. If there's no record of the witness existing, then there was no witness, and it's all over. The story of suicided is will stand. That's what's happening. I'm noticing this. These people would rather come in illegal than legal, and man, can they shed some tears. They could just sit there and cry and cry. I just want help. I'm being attacked and by governments. Yeah, well, probably because you're not violent. You're not going to obeying the law. That's probably why. So anyway, so I would not. What I would do, and I still do, I'd support everybody that's down there that's trying to solve this issue. Give them money, give them water, whatever you can afford. Do what you can to give them something while they're sitting down there in that heat. Because last year it was pretty bad. 108, 110 degrees, 112 degrees, sitting in the heat, waiting for these people to come over illegally and then pass them through, send them through. And that's exactly what they're doing. Any questions, guys? Any other suggestions? What we need is somebody to, if you guys can kind of make it or look out to where they're going to have either some kind of rally or something like that. Maybe donate. Give them a number out for people to donate to. That the water will get to them, or this will get to them, or that gets to them. It's not just one goofy thing, and it's not like they're just going to be getting illegals and handing them over to uh, the feds, which will do the same thing. They'll just process them right through, no problem. That'll do that's not vetting. Nobody's being vetted there, and it's a rough situation. It really is that bad when it comes to the amount of lies that people are listening to. They got it down. They got it down to exactly what they're doing. So they're saying that the cartels are raping the women. I wouldn't be believing any of that. I think they're just getting paid, paid $5,000 or so, or 10 grand, however much to get them there, and they throw them out and here, have fun. You have people rushing the border, and they're trying to blame it on them owing the cartel money. That's what they're trying to blame it on. And they're saying they need to pay that debt, so they're rushing over to America to get a job to pay it. Endless cycle. So, folks, that's believe it or not, that's all I had today. Um, close the border, solve your issue, delay the New World Order as long as you can. Absolutely, as long as you can. That's usually what the issue is with when you have open borders. Problems you're having is you're bringing in radical Islam, and political Islam is trying to take people out, take your country over. And just because you accept that now does not mean that you get away with what they'll do. Go look at listen to the imams and go listen to their Quran. More like the Hadith, Hadith, Hadith. Go look that up. That's political Islam. Very scary people. So, anyway, all right. Thanks for listening to the T Rose Show. We'll see you next week. And if somebody finds an address to send, um, supplies to, stuff like that, let us know. We may pop it in on the show in the comments. All right. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next week.